Alright, leaves are done. I've got a 3-day weekend after I do work tomorrow. And tonight, we finish Slay the Princess. Things are looking up, and I'm not that sore after all the leaves. So many leaves. Anyway, hello. It's stream time. So, last time on Slay the Princess, did a short run, because I finished River City Girls early. Yeah, no, that was that. That was that session, because that was just Knife Princess, routes, which was very good. I was looking over the footage, for, just a thumbnail for the VOD, and man, I love how just angular everything is in that, just line of Princess. Just the way everything's drawn, background and Princess, are just both so jagged and sharp. It's great. The art in this game is fantastic, in case you hadn't noticed. You probably did, but I'm saying it again anyway. So, it does, however, seem like we are getting towards the final princess and what the actual end of the game looks like. Because, you know, we were told. I had assumed we'd, you know, be able to cycle through all of the princesses, but it does seem like you get to do a bunch of routes, and then we'll see what all those look like now that they've cooked in the pot for a bit. I said this at the end of the last stream, but I'm just kind of stunned that, like, the end game is what I think it is, which it probably is because it's Black Tabby Games. Fuck, God. One of the only games where, when it says choices matter, that's true. Alright, anyway, though, let's get into it. Don't want to short myself on time. Everything goes dark, and you die. So, back to Chapter 1 we go. Got a sharp vessel. Bring the razor full to her.
You're on a path in the woods.
So that means I could have had a partial razor then. I guess I could have ended the storyline.
And in the basement of that cabin,
where the princess is only kind of knives. Only like 60% knife.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I mean, we were here to slay her last time, and you know what? I feel like that went poorly for everyone, but also kind of good for everyone? I think we kind of enjoyed murdering each other at the end there. Alright, I don't think we are going to reject the call to action. Nor do I think we're going to be like, maybe I'm fine with a world ending, that's cool. Alright, I think in this case, we kind of have this in the back of our mind. Let's see. Let's go with this explore option again. We're just going to skip over it because we know how this goes. I just want to make sure that my character actually says it out loud. And he's gonna go through the whole thing about, like, it's actually pretty cool to kill a monarch, which, you know, in most cases, yeah, sure, monarchs aren't great, realistically speaking, but have you considered this one's hot? I mean, did you see the Knife Princess? We were told she was the perfect woman, and I have absolutely no reason to disagree with that. I think we're just going to, at this point, not push too much further. Clearly, the narrator is set on this. We're going to silently continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path.
Now let's skip over this, to the cabin. And now, because I did assume that we were gonna see all the princesses, I did all the knife-taking at the start of the game, for the most part. Actually, I think it was all knife-taking, right? I've always taken the knife, I've just usually been pretty honest about having it, but you know what? We're gonna go to the basements. We're going to talk this out.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Couldn't skip over that one.
Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Because we've never seen this.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Wink, wink. Alright, well, I mean, the narrator's gonna get on my case if I say I'm here to save you.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
It is markedly different, just her tone, when you don't have a knife.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
You're not even the simp voice, come on.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Hold on, let's talk a bit first.
Okay.
I have not seen this face at all throughout the course of the game. Alright, let's start with what's your name?
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
Wink.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess?
I mean, you can just keep doing what you're doing, but I'm going to imagine this for a bit. I really like this world I've crafted. Alright, well, let's not harp on this too much. Alright, let's go with... I'm the first person you've seen in a while. What have you been eating? Or drinking?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant.
It's not relevant, but, like, I think it sucks if she's not eating or
but
drinking
actually,
anything.
what has she been eating?
Like,
She
that
has to
just
eat.
sucks. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go retrieve the blade. No, interesting, you can go get it. Wonder what that leads to. Let's not be, like, vaguely accusatory. Let's just get straight to the point. I was sent here to slay you. You're apparently supposed to end the world. What do we want to follow this up with? Do we just want to go full-on trusting, or... I think after that, like, not talking about eating or drinking thing, we'll say, I wanted to see for myself. I'm still not sure what to believe.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
That's... How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
No, he's kind of a vague jerk about it. I mean, I was hoping you'd tell me.
I don't know how to destroy the world, if that's what you're getting at.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
That just seems very,
At the end of the day,
weird.
whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
They're being vague.
I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
We're diplomatic and it's actually getting somewhere.
So
Narrator.
this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Alright, narrator, counter-argument.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
I mean, we don't know who she's subjugated. What if I just stayed for a while and just kept you company? Nobody would have liked that. Alright, so I'm gonna choose one of these. Did kind of come here to do the not slaying run. But there's, well, I say the not slaying run. I'm sure there's more than one. Alright, well, you know what? I think we're gonna do this one. Maybe we have misgivings, but also locking people in a basement, that's pretty rude.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I mean, I'm not 100% trust the narrator in this situation, but if there isn't a key, do you have any other ideas?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Both explore options, so let's start with... Hey, let me out of here!
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You try
Try
the
the door.
but it's locked from the outside. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
Can I take it now? I promise I'll kill her. Wink. Wait, you can see it when I say wink,
Easier
can't
for
you?
whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her
Well,
arm
here we
to her
go.
mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
Don't worry, I've
As
got
she
this.
lifts her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
Wow, amazing, how magical. Can't believe you actually managed to get your knife back.
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
We're gonna save the princess.
Fine. Against your better judgment,
This fucking face
you
is
place
so
the
good.
blade against the ragged,
Just, oh, okay. I mean, I had that, but
just above
sure,
the
keep going.
unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and
Oh,
it takes little
God.
effort to crack through the bone of her arm.
I saw this scene before. This is one of the scenes I got in the demo, but oh god.
Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground.
Alright, Siri, all good now?
How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Alright, together now.
We won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world.
Well, you're not voice of the hero, so no heroics from you.
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Alright, let's see. We can slay the princess, slay. Warner.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it! Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
You're not doing a good job of it. Alright, let's resist.
The blade! Move the blade! As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
I mean, look, there's a lot of dialogue options, and most of them are murder.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
Thanks.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake.
Look, if she can gnaw through her own arm, we can get stabbed to
For
death. It's
her
fine.
sake. Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone.
You can just lock the door. You're fine.
Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she?
Not in this timeline. Look, if she is the knife, she's good at
Apparently
it.
not. Though it doesn't matter
Extremely
how sloppy her
good.
knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound. It won't be long before you bleed out.
I don't know if it's going to be bleeding out so much as just I'm going to suddenly be in a state of not having blood anymore, which is decidedly different. It doesn't come up a lot in real life, but you know.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks.
You forgot the important part where I do the Terminator thumbs up as I die. Thank you, narrator.
It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Alright, in Chapter 2, The Damsel.
You're on a path in the woods.
Can't
And at
skip
the end
this
of
one
that
because
path
now
is a
we
cabin.
have reason to be mad at the
And in the
narrator.
basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay, no.
Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he?
Oh, here's
If we're
Smitten.
going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Wink.
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess.
Gods, he heard me!
Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. Sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Alright, kinda... I kinda wanna see if I can call the narrator a bastard, so I'm gonna do this one real quick, but I think, I removed my chance to say that. Let's assume I'm telling the truth, and all this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
I died because you were a prick.
You were the one who did us in, villain. Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from rescuing her. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake. No lone princess is worth that price. I beg to differ. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a deep breath and assume that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense to ignore your protestations.
Oh, I've had, like, no common sense going into any of these.
Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking
Every
that,
time I
it
get made
sounds to
fun
me
of like
you're
that.
making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
And we got stabbed to death by a hot lady!
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died?
I don't know, seems like she was pretty broken up about the whole thing, so you probably just kept her down there forever.
Do you think the people there lived happily ever after?
Yeah, probably.
Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? She would never. She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part of some convoluted, dastardly scheme. Convoluted? I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Princess bad, stop her, save everyone.
Oh god, I wonder how my fellow narrator from the Stanley Principle does it. Stanley Parable, sorry. I'm sure he has a simple time with his extremely simple, easy-to-follow plot. None of this shit. Definitely not. I don't know if we've quite done... I think I might have seen this one a few times.
Just be quick about it.
Alright, let's start with this one. Who locked her in that basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but
Can't skip this one, so it's
you're
probably one of the
special.
other voices react.
You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special.
Oh, I like that.
Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Calling us special isn't going to make us friends, even if it did feel nice.
Affirm me all you want, I will not change my stance.
Oh, believe me, the last thing I want is for you and I to be friends. But I'm a
Especially you.
professional.
Like
I'm not going to
you
let
as a
my
body in
dislike
general.
for you get in the
However,
way
you
of
specifically I
helping
don't
save
like.
the world.
Alright, you're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word.
The only reason she was even able to kill me last time was because I let her. She could barely hold a knife. How is she supposed to end the world?
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
Look, it's just a really cool variation of like the whole save the princess story, right? You've got a fairy tale, you're the knight, you're saving the princess, but oh, the princess is fucked up and evil and explodes the world. Get it? Okay, keep going. Come
Maybe
on.
it's her beauty that threatens the world.
Maybe she's just so hot that everyone will die because of it.
Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? Before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know, but it's just the way it is.
Not her, narrator.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Alright. Let's maybe not keep putting her intentions out there. I mean, the narrator probably is sitting on pins and needles right now. But let's go to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
God forbid women do anything!
We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Both things can be true!
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
It's really hard, I'm sorry. You can't ignore them.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
I feel like the way Smitten was written, I think most people would just sort of gravitate towards that kind of voice. Like, once you see a character call somebody else villain like that, it's like, okay, well, I have to pronounce it as, you villain! There's really only one thing you can't do.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright. This whole cabin is different than last time.
Very different.
Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to the scenery last time around.
Considering I didn't exist?
Maybe that's
Maybe.
because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Stop letting yourself get distracted.
Alright, well, let's approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
I'm sorry, this is just a PS1 game. It just looks like that forever. Do you know how goddamn hard it is to program mirrors into games?
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
You love the damn wall so much, why don't you marry it?
There was a mirror a second ago.
No, I'm not into walls like
No,
that,
it's
thank
not.
you.
Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
We'll have to leave in shame. Alright, we're entering the basement. We just raise our middle finger to the
The door
narrator
to
in
the
this one.
basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
No, that's just my anger. Go kill the princess.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning.
Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
If anything, that works to my advantage.
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Smitten, if she knew you were there, she would just leave out that window right there.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero.
That's me! I'm the hero!
Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it?
You two are suckers!
Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
That's right, villain, and you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
I've never heard of grey areas!
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time.
I don't have the knife, sucker.
Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
I mean, I think we know why this happened. Let's start with this. Let's just go straight. Let's just dive into it, huh? Hey, I've got voices in my head. Sorry about what happened last time. The narrator who sent me here to kill you took over my body. It was extremely unfair.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
I'd like to buy that version of me a beer.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually.
That's because she's perfect.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I'm the only me there is.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
That being said, if there were a version of me in there, I would love that. What happened after I died?
You died, and now we're talking.
But before we started talking, did the world end? Did you end the world?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips. Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
I mean, look, I don't want to make this about me, but I'm not neutral or that against the world. I'm just gonna say, no, I don't want the world to end.
Then I didn't end the world.
Alright, well, she said it!
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself.
Playing a game of just good cop, bad cop, and just this fucking guy who wasn't even working here. What are you doing
sure.
here? Well, alright, you know what? Let's... Okay. I know why she did it, but maybe we need to communicate that, hey, that was a lot of pain. You did stab me to death. If you're going to kill me, at least be better at it this time.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
Kinda. I kind of would have liked a different solution, but I guess I'm the mediator here.
Did we?
We never said, please
We
kill
warned
me.
her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for everyone.
She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to manipulation.
I didn't bring a knife. Do I have to cut you out again?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
You're too demure.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
Nah, I'm with you, hero.
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
Oh, and look! She's tearing her arm apart again!
No, you're right.
I'm
It's
into that
extremely
too.
Bizarre behaviour and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted.
So go ahead and slay her. No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, I'll...
You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her?
No.
I would if you had a weapon.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
Now hold on a sec.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, he would,
I
right?
would.
Hero?
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her?
You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed.
Why didn't we put her in the actually strong chains?
I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh.
Ugh, love.
If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved.
If only we're made of knives or something.
Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon.
Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
I have no clue. I mean, you know what? Let's explore. What do you want to do?
Let me guess. End the world?
Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
Damn, that sucks.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave.
Makes
and
sense.
I think
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
This one's slightly more aggressive, but I feel like this one's just going in circles. Must be something you want.
I just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy.
It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
Doesn't everyone have a one-track mind? But what would make you happy?
I just want to make you happy.
Just cycling through every how to draw manga style, huh?
Is she broken? What's going on? What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
Alright, let's go on to this one. But you need your own thing. You just met me. You can't base your entire happiness around me. I want you to make me unhappy.
Okay, if that's what makes you happy.
Oh my gosh,
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't right.
This is fucking getting worse and worse. She's just gonna turn into a fucking tiny doodle by the end of
I don't see
this.
the problem here. She's just sweet on us. You don't have to act like it's a big deal.
Women just transmogrify into simplistic drawings when they're happy. That's what happens. Alright, I feel like this is gonna end with her just fucking JoJo villain killing me. Just fucking punching me through the stomach, so we'll save that one for later. I want you to tell me what you want.
I just want to make you happy.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're alone right now?
Oh, I got an
Like we're the
achievement,
only ones
and they
here.
lived happily ever after. It's all she ever wanted. Oh, no. I feel like you cut that one off prematurely. You don't get the chance to ask another question, nor will you ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory returns.
No! She was our perfect match. She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a... Why is it here? Why now?
It's going to be okay. Just trust me. You've been here before. You always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
I can preen without a mirror. I'll see you on the other side. It's going to be okay.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. She'll be there waiting for us. I just know it.
Well, Smitten, I know you're already happy with the princess in any form, even if she's knives, so I think you'll be fine with this. Alright, we approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You are nothing at all. But that isn't right. You can't be nothing. You refocus your gaze and then you see it. A figure, faint and veiled in shadow, just beyond the reflection. Are you me?
I think you know what I am.
Oh shit. Narrator is realistic bird. A crack slides down to the center of the mirror, splitting the image in the glass in two. And then another crack forms, and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass. Bird. Oh wow, we've got a lot of options. Alright, well we haven't seen that happen yet, but alright. Okay, so... that implies, however, that we only get so many questions. Alright, well, I mean, the last option is destroy the mirror, so... I suppose we'll do it slowly instead. So, you're the narrator. I was wondering if I'd ever get to see you.
The narrator, yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help, after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
Yep, there goes one. What are you? Are you something like me?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo. Likely one of many. Somebody made you, after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
I don't want to say I have so many questions for you. That just breaks the fucking mirror for nothing. I mean, well, I don't think it would be nothing, but certainly not what I'm interested in seeing. Alright, so we've got... I don't know exactly how many of these we have left. Others like you. You've said something like that before. Has every narrator really been different?
Of course. That is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
I don't think we need to ask this exactly. After everything you've done to us, do you think anyone deserves to live?
Nobody alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you.
Does it hurt when pieces of you break off like that?
It doesn't hurt. I don't feel pain. Not physically.
There goes one. So, you do know about the looping. So many of the times I met you, you denied it as even being a possibility. Why did you lie to me?
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. For all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me. I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
Are you a part of me? Or are you something else?
No, I'm not a part of you. But that's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? From one vantage point I must seem wholly foreign, but from another, well, all the versions of me that have existed have collectively heard your every thought and driven your every action. If that isn't being part of you, then what is?
That makes sense. That's why the narrator is just sort of his own position. Like, you can't see the mirror normally, though now he exists in it. He's a voice in our head, but doesn't... The way he works has been different from the other voices. And say we probably have 3 left. I really want to ask this, but... The people out there beyond the walls of the constructs, do they know about this? Do they know what you want me to do to them?
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end. Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering.
Oof. Hey, I was happy I had 3 left. Alright. What is the princess? Did you make her too?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. Seems that every me you met did a real shit job of it, though.
Alright. Death of the author is the achievement. God damn it. Oof. How do I want to do this? I was hoping to get one more. Wanted to ask about myself. Well, I mean... this would be a pretty good line to go out on, if I were, like, mean neutral about the narrator, just, I think you're out of time. But you know what? Played mediator this whole time. Want to be fair to everyone. And that includes you. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna be rude to you. But, as always, this has annoyed many a narrator before. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I still have to see what she thinks about all of this.
I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
Final fragment of glass shatters. You see yourself with newfound clarity. You are the long quiet, a vast, nascent god, and it is finally time for you to wake up. All of this is you. See to the cabin one last time. Finally got the achievement for the deconstructed damsel. When you arrive at the heart of things, there is no final vessel for you to bear witness to. There is nothing for you to find. Hey.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
Alright, well... I'm the long quiet, but I don't really know what that means.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
Do you know about the echo? Did you hear our conversation?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
What happens now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature.
I
Isn't
fucking called it. God damn it. Excellent. Alright. 10 out of 10. No notes. Good. I'm glad you get me.
When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
Don't you have a say in all this? Why is this all falling on me?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
If you were always going to become this, then what was the point of me doing anything? Did it even matter what roads I walked if all of them would have led to this moment?
If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it. Your liver attracts stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? Love melted into skepticism, and you pulled back layer after layer after layer, until all you were left with was the knowledge that you did not know me.
I love that. This is a very good moment. It's just punctuated by this version of the princess.
You sought the truth, then. Will you hide from it, now that it is within your grasp?
I don't want to hide from the truth.
Then don't. Leave with me. There's no need for you to fight what we are.
A boundless torrent of blades cut you from boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it. On it goes until your bodies are not your thoughts, are not you. Alive, dead, then alive and dead and alive and dead all at once. You learn to put yourself away and to follow the flow of reality, and you used it to rise above me.
You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. Unjust impossibilities pushed you to become something you would never have been without them.
If you hadn't snatched that body away, we would have killed each other. We were self-destructive.
Were we self-destructive, or did the beauty of our dance reach beyond the shadow of death? It was lethality that made us what we were.
Brutality splashes you against the walls, but with stubborn defiance you rise again. Bones broken and body leaking. Even when you had no hope, you never gave up, and I never let you go. Without obstacles to overcome, we decay into nothing.
Is stagnation so bad? Can meaning not exist in the absence of cruelty and pain?
To stagnate is to remain the same. What meaning can be taken from a single moment, frozen in time? All conflict is violence, but to remove conflict itself is to remove the textures that define us.
Fear is what pretends to protect us from loss. To fear death protects from losing a body. To fear ruin protects from losing status. To fear rejection protects from being known. But losing a body is contained within having a body. Losing status is contained within having status. Being known is contained within being conscious. It is in the nature of all things to transform, to go from known to hidden to known again. But when the ceaseless impermanence of all things strips away the finality of endings, what remains of fear? Is it a shelter protecting you from itself? Or is it a shelter protecting itself from you? You took fear by the hand and walked with it into the unknown, and through that, you feared nothing.
I'm not afraid now. The fear of others is real. We can't uphold the harm that everyone suffers just because we're beyond it.
Others cling to fear because they have not yet seen beyond it. Will you strip the beauty of transformation just because some refuse to acknowledge it? Is a person? Is it their body? Is it all of their body? Pluck the eyes, peel the skin, strip the tendons, mince the meat, grind the bones. When it is all gone, do you still have who you started with? A person is not a body. Death is a transformation into something new. It is only bodies that feel it.
I am not my body, but I feel my body suffer.
Do you suffer now? Let go of what you think yourself to be, and exist. You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion? Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
What do you think happens if we leave here?
This universe dies, and a new one is born. And that one dies, and a new one is born. And you and I get to witness it all, weaving a tapestry of life wherever we go.
It's easy to believe in the things you believe in when you get to sit above it all.
It is from my vantage point that I can see the totality of truth.
Well, I mean, we've been neutral for the entire game, or, attempting to be and failing miserably at it every time, so maybe in this moment we just acknowledge that we do want something. You've done everything you can to make me understand your perspective, but you keep dismissing mine. If you think you can change me, then I must be able to change you.
What I offer you is not perspective. It is truth.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone.
Oh, hey, hero. Which hero are you?
I'm all of them, I assume in the same way that you're all of you.
Well, I only have one other thing to say, though. None of these are explore options. You have no idea how good it is to hear you.
It's good to be here. Seems like you've been doing alright on your own, but she's too many things at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get past all that divine confidence. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Then let's go.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Here's the doodles.
And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing this before. This whole situation's a little different.
Do you need me to describe things?
I'd like that, for old time's sake.
Yeah, of course. The interior of the cabin is, well, it's a cabin, yeah? There isn't much here, just a table and a knife and a door. And some windows. You know, come to think of it, I don't think he ever really mentioned the windows, did he?
Yeah, he didn't notice the mirror ever, but yeah, no, he never did really mention the mirrors.
There's no mirror, either. I think you broke it. And I know you're still trying to find some middle ground, but if things go south, we're going to need that blade.
You know what? Coming from you, I think I will. Is it just you and me? Did anyone else make it to the cabin?
It's just us. I think the rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her.
Smitten is having the time of his fucking life in there. Like a child in a ball pit. Is the narrator really gone?
Yeah, it's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated.
Damn. You hate to see it. It's funny. After everything he put us through, I'm kinda sad to see him go.
Yeah, it's complicated. He put us through hell, but he's been part of us since the very beginning, hasn't he?
Alright. Since Hero told me to.
That's probably for the best. It's always seemed to give us more options than not.
Oh, we only had one encounter where we didn't have the knife.
The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
Have you figured out what you want to do yet, or are you going to keep trying to find a center that doesn't exist?
Damn.
It sounded just like that. A little sharp, a little menacing. Only she didn't know us.
I do really appreciate that the game actually knew exactly what I was going for. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have cared, but I'm really glad it noticed exactly what I was going for.
And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
And there you are, knife in hand. It really brings me back. Have you given up on talking? Have you finally decided to kill me? You'll have all of eternity to yourself after this. Why don't we chat a little before I go?
I'm gonna sit with her. I don't want to be a god.
Honestly, me neither.
Are you the same as you are out there?
No. I feel like I'm myself again.
I don't want to hurt anyone. There has to be a way out of this.
Well, I don't want to be at the end of that knife, so how about we figure something out? What if we tried doing this forever? I can do whatever you think I can, right? So, make me put it all back. Make me fix the Echo's construct and make me wipe our memories of everything that's happened. Make me send us back to the beginning, before we woke up. Before either of us saw the truth.
Can she really do that? Are you sure that's what you want?
Would resetting it do anything to help them? The people out there? If you continue to exist, don't they continue to die and suffer?
Fixing that is on you, not me. If you want me to help them, you'll have to make me help them.
If we're talking about this right now, how do we know we haven't done this before?
I don't think that's something we'll ever get to know. But odds are we've probably done it before.
How do you know that things won't end worse? What if when I make my way back here, I'm different and I hurt you? What if I kill you? What if I let you bring about the end of everything?
Who cares? We've hurt each other plenty, and I still like you. And if you're hesitating, then you must still like me, too.
We'd have to decide to do this every single time, forever. Eventually something is going to be different. What if we change our minds?
Well, if we change our minds, we change our minds. What matters is that we'll always have a choice. This is just the one we're making now.
We're going to find ourselves back here eventually.
And if we do, nothing is stopping us from making the same choice. We could just keep doing this forever.
Is there any other way?
You brought that knife down here for a reason. Either you use it to kill me, or I use it to put things back.
I take it all back. I don't want this, and I don't want to kill you. Is it too late to go back to being a god?
Yeah, I think it's too late for that. But maybe next time.
This isn't fair. I want to be here with you. I don't want to be alone again.
Neither do I. But we won't be alone for long. I'll be right here, waiting for you.
Oh boy. Well, I'm going to take this explore option. It's not going to make anything appear, but we can delay things a little while longer. I don't want to forget you.
That's sweet. But unless you do, the whole world ends, right? Not like I care, but it seems important to you.
This is difficult. But I feel like got this far. Killed her a lot. Maybe we just don't do that. I mean, feel like in the long run, probably worse to kill death. So, okay, then let's do it. I believe in us.
Okay, if this is your choice, then I have your back. I guess I'll see you on the other side. She takes the blade from our hand, a fondness in her gaze.
Just do it.
Hey, I love you.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that
Notably, I
path
can't skip
is a
this.
cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm gonna be obdurate. I just said no. I kinda wish I had saved. Finish the game, the good ending doesn't count. Hmm. Do I want to do one more? If I do another one, it's probably gonna be a very short stream. You know what? Alright, I'm gonna do a lot of skipping. But I guess in the meantime, I'm gonna do, And the thing is, I wanna, like, this is a lot of stuff to cover again on stream. Yeah, like, I mostly liked how that ending was going. But yeah, I did think there would be, you know, a little more friction there, instead of just the choices that you leave, which is fair. I don't think that's necessarily a bad ending, it's just the choice where you leave it all behind, and I don't know, maybe I do say I'm satisfied there. Like, it's the ending with the least amount, but it's a very tough decision, but, like, it's also, honestly, I feel like one that's actually kind of fitting in the long run. Because we were centrist for most of that, and I think it is a fair ending to just go through that and be like, no. I cannot see a way out of this unless I just leave. I just need to detach myself from all of this. It's best for everyone. I am too middle ground to be trusted in this situation. And thinking about it, I do always appreciate just, like, ejecting from a narrative as sort of a narrative choice in the end. That's why I didn't really like the Netflix ending of Series of Unfortunate Events, because I felt it was a deliberate choice the way that the book series ended, and I didn't like that they changed that. But, yeah, no, I feel like it is absolutely a valid choice for... Now, I don't see why you would want me to leave this one. I think this is fine, but... it's only this. It'll eventually cut to the cabin. But yeah, no, just the idea of leaving the narrative and just that being kind of a meta choice overall, just saying no. Just saying no to all of that. Yeah, I'm kind of volleying all over the place right now. Like... initially my... Like, considering how much of everything there was at the end there, it was weird to go from that to just immediate ending, but... Like, I'm thinking about it, and actually I kind of like that. It is also one of the more heartbreaking endings you can get without the character actually being on screen. Like, just saying no to all of that is denying that, like, anything could happen anymore. Like, I chose to detach myself, just assuming, like, alright, I'll just leave. No more of this. Again, it was a little faster than I expected. But, you know, I think kind of makes sense for what I was playing there. It's like one of the few extremely brief endings I'm satisfied with outside of, like, the Leave ending of Silent Hill 2. It's one I don't think a lot of people like, but I do really appreciate the ending of, like, he just fucking leaves. Like, it's not satisfying. There's no way James could get satisfaction from this situation. The best he can hope for is to just not be there anymore. That's it. He leaves. That's all. Here, it's a little more tragic, because going from that, I love you, to just, alright, well, bye. In a way of just, like, trying to remedy the situation by going away. And I think I'm... Okay, so here's my thought process. I think I'm settling on, for that iteration of Us, The Long Quiet, I think that kind of works. Well, yeah, it's the loop, but, like, normally if you leave the cabin, that also just is another loop. Like, the narrator takes you back to the cabin over and over again until you are forced back into it. We didn't actually see how that resolved in the demo, and I haven't done the full thing yet. But here's what I'm thinking. I think I'm actually going to give this a rest for now. I think overall, I want to do one more run, and perhaps give it more of a final end, you know? Maybe actually go through with this, rather than just assuming that I'm the problem, even if that's not necessarily correct. Which is sort of how this character wound up being. Whether or not the princess actually agrees with that. But I think we're going to leave us as that for the time being. And I think I'm going to make good on my threat against myself and play Mega Man Network Transmission. Just give this a little bit of breathing room, because I think this is a complete story. But I do want to come back. I feel like I was probably going to replay the game no matter what, but I think we'll come back to this and maybe do... I'm thinking maybe we come back with a little... Actually, okay. I think when we come back, I'm actually going to be obdurate. Maybe we'll just play this like we've been looping for a while, now we're going to get back into it, and then this will kind of be the next run of it. You know, we supposedly left the narrative, but pulls us right back in anyway. If you stop right here, it's ambiguous as to what happens. I feel like leaving it that works. But yeah, I think no matter what, I was going to play this more because I really want to see what some of these other options give us. Especially now that I actually know what the endgame looks like. Like, I was figuring it would just be like one character that is kind of encompassed by the choices you've made. And it sort of is. But also, you are encompassed by the choices you have made, which is also pretty cool. I am just gleefully surprised that the game fucking understood what I was going for. Because so many games don't, and like, that's fair. The amount of consideration you have to put into this type of narrative is frankly ludicrous. There's so much minutia, and I'm completely understanding that most people don't go through the effort of doing this, but it's cool that they did. And again, actually seeing this actually seeing the game say, "You've been going for Centrist all along, haven't you?" That was just delightful. So I'm definitely happy with this run, but I think I'm gonna stream one more set of one more playthrough. We'll go through one more loop on stream. In the meantime, though, once again, the option is always there to play this game yourself. Because even a second stream, I'm getting the feeling, is not going to be anywhere near enough to cover just the vast amount that can happen in this whole ass game. So yeah. I think that's what I'll do. Rather than just, like, do a brief thing where I just come back next week and be like, alright, I go to the cabin. I think we end this off as a bit of a subtle tragedy for now. Rather than, just trying to bull rush through what I just streamed right now and then look at a slightly different ending. I think it would be more interesting to just see what is different about a second playthrough and what goes into that ending. In the meantime, though, any, I guess not final thoughts on the game, because again, not done yet, but I guess just midway thoughts for Slay the Princess. Honestly, like, I've been thinking about the game a lot, so now I have to see if I can recall anything I've been thinking about, just when I'm working and thinking of anything else. And once again, Black Tabby Games is just really good at just choice-based stuff. Just in general, I don't think anything has really had the same impact that this and Scarlet Hollow have. Because just... there is so much. And, like... a lot of choice-based stuff is just a matter of, like... I'm gonna let at this point just so I don't get distracted by things changing, but, like... most games that do choices are just extremely black and white morality that don't really seem to understand what you might actually want from one of these things. It's just like, alright, you can either be good or evil. Good is when you give people all of the supply. Literally, Infamous was my example, yeah, just... You can give people supplies, or you can be evil, and you can take the supplies for yourself, and also beat the shit out of people. What if you were really selfish, and also you killed orphans and nuns while you did it? And it's like, cool, great. Like, yeah, no, most games that do that are just like, alright, do you want to be a good person? That means you just want to be kind of boring, right? Just... You just do the right thing, but we don't really examine anything about that. The right thing is a very simple thing to do all the time forever. And when you're evil, you just want to kick puppies. Like, a lot of people have the whole thing about like, oh, well, I try to play evil characters in the game, but I can't because I'm just a jerk. And it's like, yeah, no. I want to play as evil characters too, but like, usually it's just puppy kicking evil, right? Like, you're just kind of over the top, but like, not in a fun way, you're just kind of a douche. Look, I just want to play like the morally gray villain, right? Like the one people always complain about when they are the villains in other things, where like, you are... like, you're kind of just the way you are because society sucks ass. Murder is acceptable sometimes. But I don't just do it constantly forever. It's just some people are pricks, and society really got me. But yeah, nah. Also, I want to be hot is the other thing. I want to be the kind of evil that's hot, but I don't want to be puppy-kicking evil. And you know what? Infamous doesn't give you either one of those. You're not hot, and you're just a douche. But, like, Slay the Princess is very much not about black and white morality at all. I think throughout the game, everybody has had pretty clear motivations. Like, the narrator is not fully an antagonist. I don't think I can agree with him and what he wants me to do, but I understand where he's coming from, and I can see a path where I would want to, you know, maybe work with him a little more. But I think it's also very obvious early on that, like, the princess is in a very similar boat to what you're in. Like, mainly she is here to kill you, but she is also very much a reflection of what you do first. I think that becomes pretty obvious pretty quickly, and that's sort of... I think as long as you are able to figure that out and sort of get in that mindset, that is where the game is most effective, because even though the princess is constantly murdering you, you kind of get it. Like, you came here to kill her too. So, like, it's kind of fair. She's in a shit situation, she doesn't really have a good way out, you don't have a good way out. You sort of just have to react to one another as such, and you're constantly hurting one another. And you might not want to, but you just kind of do. And then the voices are just there egging you on. It's great. But yeah, like, the way the game constantly reflects what you do is just... Yeah, it's very smart. I think this and Scarlet Hollow both are very well done in that, like, they understand what you want from dialogue options. Because, like, yeah, the only time I ever, like, didn't get what I wanted out of an option is it's because I fundamentally misunderstood what the game was saying. I thought it was just a dumb, I'm gonna kill her first before she can kill me. That'll show her. But no, it was, I will kill me before she kills me, and yeah, I just misread that and then continued on that assumption that that's what that said. So that's my misunderstanding. And even then, even when I fucked up and chose a thing I might not necessarily have chosen, I still liked my choice. I still thought it was an interesting path to go down. Like, there is no real dull option. They know what you want out of choices, and they try to make it interesting that you chose it. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to get the dialogue for being a prick because I just don't like doing that. But, again, being a prick in this or Scarlet Hollow, I think, at least it is framed in a way that makes sense. It's not out of the blue. I think in both games, there are reasons for you to kind of be flippant, and dismissive about the situation because shit kind of sucks. In this game, you are just trapped in a situation you can't truly understand. And the same's kind of also true for Scarlet Hollow. It's just, you know, a little more seemingly mundane up front, in that you're not trapped in this weird story. You are just going to a funeral you probably don't really want to actually be a part of because you don't know the person super well. That's an existential hell of its own design. That's a completely different situation, but similar. So it is understandable, but I still don't want to be an ass to people. I still want to be polite. But yeah, like, anything else on that front? Just, I really like the way the game reacts to you. It's just very smartly written. It never really, like, even the end, just somewhat accidentally choosing just the leave ending, I still wound up being happy with it, just because the context of everything else just sort of was like, no, actually, that kind of makes sense for what I did. And, like, I gravitated towards that option for a reason. Like, again, I thought there would be at least a little more pushback at that point, but I got the most choice I ever had at the start of the game. I left. So, again, I don't know if I was, like, that strong in playing this mysterious bird man, the Long Quiet, as a character, just as a specific character, but I feel like I did actually wind up doing that. Again, I gravitated towards that option at the end. I feel like I played it pretty well. I think that just made sense for what I was going for. It's just, you know, I personally would, you know, like to see things actually through. You know what? I want to help the princess out of this shitty situation. So, yeah, that's why I'm personally not gonna end the stream overall. But I am overall happy with how I was just able to craft that narrative in the end. I think it was neat. I feel like I must have had some other angle of that whole thing, but yeah, I've just been thinking a lot of just how well this game does choices, because it doesn't necessarily attach it to morality, or at the very least, like, the design ethos of these games is that it doesn't, like, pull up a meter that says good and evil on it. I do think, like, there are judgments from the narrative itself overall. It's not like it's trying to be apolitical, because that's also just as bad, right? Just trying to be like, oh yeah, all choices are valid. Like, to a certain extent, you know, it's understandable that you could approach this from any angle, but that doesn't mean the game's gonna say, oh yeah, that's a perfect choice you made. No connotations to that, no consequences, it's just fine. And yeah, I just think starting from the design of, we're not just going to give you a specific meter, we're not going to say, this is wholly good, this is wholly evil, is just, again, really smart. It is way better than, yeah, just about any given game. Because most of them are just, alright, yep, Boy Scout or Puppy Kicker, you get those two options. I mean, really, it's not a good example either, but I feel like Shadow the Hedgehog beats most other games on that account either, where, like, you have good, evil, and neutral paths, but, like, you don't always have the same allies in good or evil. I mean, like, the aliens that are trying to destroy the world are pretty much always evil, but, like, you know what? Sometimes Eggman's good, sometimes he's evil, sometimes he's neutral, so you know what, Infamous? You can kiss Shadow the Hedgehog's ass, because it actually did better than you. And also, you can play neutral throughout the entire game. You can't finish the game neutral. There's no neutral ending. If you get all the way to the end of the game, you still have to choose good or evil. So again, that is also... That sounds like it would limit you and put it in the same position as any other game, but at that point, actually, it works out pretty well. It's more of a message than most morality systems have. Anyway, that's a tangent, but I just thought of it and was like, I could just kick most games with a morality system in the dick right now. Yep, that's exactly the moral of that story. That's really something that we can all learn, is just, if you try to play Centrist too good for too much for too long, rather, you do eventually have to kill Dr. Eggman. That's actually what happens after this ending. You thought you were just going to leave. You thought you just left. No, we actually left to go karate chop Dr. Eggman to death. That's what really happened. Everything goes dark and Eggman dies. Yeah, I'm trying to recall any other angles I went at with just the storyline. I think I might have covered everything I've been thinking about over this last week, about just how this game works, and why it does so much better than everything else. But I think that's it, so... I guess everything else I can say is pretty straightforward, though. Just because, like, I don't know, it's kind of... It's just straightforward. I don't really have anything else to say. Like, the game looks phenomenal. I love just how different everything looks the further on every path you get with a princess. Like, as I said, the fact that Dagger Princess just gets sharper and sharper is really cool. Not something I immediately picked up on, though, until it actually started happening. Just what the specificity of the art style change meant. And then this stream, we got the damsel who just... The more she tried to... Or, like, the more you tried to force her into thinking of what she wanted for herself, the more she just fell apart. Like, she really does not exist for any other reason than to just be... I'm here to be saved by you. She has nothing else in her existence, so she just goes from trying to get more and more cutesy to just falling apart at the seams because there's not truly substance there. I kind of wish I had a chance to talk to her at the end and see, like, what do you think about this vessel? Like, this is just fast food for you, right? There's nothing of actual substance here. Yeah, art style's amazing, and also just the fact that it's all hand-drawn is also just phenomenal. in a year that's just been kind of depressing about AI shit and just tech bros saying like, oh, there's no point to artists, it's really cool just being able to look at a game and be like, yeah, this all looks fucking fantastic, and yeah, it's all hand-drawn. That's just really good. Music's good. I don't know if I have that much to say about the music other than that. It does the job of a soundtrack. It fits the mood very well. But I'm also not really that well versed in actually talking about music, because that's not my wheelhouse. I just had a whole talk about, like, the way this game works with plot. It was meandering, but, like, that's just how my brain works. I meander. If I wanted to be concise, I would write this down instead. But I'm here streaming instead. But yeah, like, it's just good music. I can recognize a good soundtrack. It sounds good, and it's good at mood setting. I just can't really talk in any more specificity other than that, because, again, I appreciate music. I know tit and tat about it. And then also compliments to the voice acting, which has just been fantastic. Like, the variance everybody gets has just been nothing short of amazing. Like, this game has 2 voice actors, and the way they manage to convey different aspects of their respective characters is just... yeah, it's been amazing. Again, we only scratched the surface of not going into the the princess's prison cell. I almost said finale, that wasn't correct at all. But like, we only just did one run where we went in without the knife, and just the difference between voices for the princess are just amazing. They get across. Like, she varies so much, your own voices vary so much. I've had the thought before, but I don't know if I voiced it, but this is basically just the good version of Everyone is John. I mean, technically the narrator's a different personality, so he's not necessarily you, but, you know, same voice. But the other voices as well, those are a part of you. And yeah, the variance on them is amazing, and just hearing them argue amongst one another is just delightful. Disco Elysium is also a very good game that sort of does similar things to this game. I don't want to say too much more in that regard. Just for spoiler reasons, but yeah, no, Disco Elysium does very cool stuff. Again, I never really fault anyone for going into writing not doing this sort of thing and having just 1,000 different paths for the player to follow, because that can be very difficult to do. It can be very difficult to have enough bases and making them all satisfying when covering them. I cannot fault that. I will not look at a visual novel that is more simple and is just like, hey, here's my story, and either I or somebody I know / hired did some art for it. I could never say that that is a bad thing. I understand completely why somebody would maybe not want to throw themselves into that vast ocean of trying to accomplish what this game or Scarlet Hollow or Disco Elysium, what they do. But like, if you are able to actually pull something like this off, it is nothing short of impressive. So yeah, I very much like this game. I don't know if that was obvious up until this point, but I really like what Black Tabby Games does. Just as I don't think they count as a company, because you know, it's just Abby and Tony and a few other. Oh god, I'm blanking on the musician. Hold on a sec. Where's the credits? Oh god, can I not immediately see the credits? References? Oh no. I'm sorry. Regardless, it is a small team, so company, it feels weird to say company is the point I'm trying to get to before I sank into the existential dread of my being bad with names and remembering them. And I feel like garbage for doing that, but okay, thank you. Brendan Boone. You do good music. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm bad at names, but anyway, yeah. I have completely thrown myself off the rails of that train of thought. I have hit the ground and broken every bone in my body. I don't know where the fuck I was on that train. This is a good game. It's a good game. I enjoyed it. And yeah, no, like I said before, I'm going to continue on with this in the long run, but I'm going to give it a bit of a break, which means inevitably we're not going to see Slay the Princess again until 2024, because the year is almost over. But yeah, no, at this point I'm kind of just a jumbled mess. Much like the princess, I have unraveled into just a very simple, crayon drawing. That's me trying to go on and on in my final thoughts. I have to edit my final thoughts and LPs down by a lot, most of the time. But yeah, we'll be playing more of this down the line, with slightly fresher eyes. I'm gonna give this a bit of a break, which means in the meantime, I guess I'm going to, much like the long quiet here, eject myself completely from the situation. And we're gonna talk plugs. So next Saturday, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. I keep threatening myself that I'm going to play Mega Man Network Transmission. And look, I almost have a working Elgato because I have a computer that can actually function with it, theoretically. I just need to figure out how it actually plugs in. For some reason, like, I can get it to plug into my own computer. I had it display my own computer screen, which means the computer itself shouldn't be too much for the Elgato to handle. I just need to figure out how wires are supposed to go here and where, which means I have access to so many things that I could theoretically use to escape Mega Man Network Transmission. But I'm gonna fucking do it. Look, it's not really canon, but like, the older I get, the less I give a shit about canon. So I'm just going to treat this as Mega Man Battle Network 1.5, which means I'm going to play it for posterity. I don't care whether or not it's supposed to exist in a timeline. As much as I'm hemming and hawing about actually playing it, I do want to show it off because I think there are things that are interesting about it. So that is in itself worthwhile to show off. So Mega Man Network Transmission next Saturday, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. As for other streams, Tuesday is going to be more Code Vein. That one is 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Boy, the game is going by a whole lot faster now that it's actually playing well. Now that it's not constantly lagging, I can actually, like, almost play decently, so while I did spend like half an hour on an enemy fight, it was kind of a notably difficult one, and once I did that, I kind of just blazed through the rest of it. I am pretty far through that given area, where I think if I was on my old computer, I would be like, I think I would still be on the enemy fight if I hadn't given up on that one by then. So yeah, that's good. Thursday stream, also 7 to 9. Okay, so I think it's gonna be Phoenix Wright. At some point I do kind of want to play like Mario 1 on stream. I'm not good at it, but I don't really want to LP it either because I don't have enough of a connection to it to really want to LP it per se, but I mean, it's the original Mario, there's things to say about it. And it would overall be a quick stream. But yeah, I think since I just did Paper Mario, I'm gonna cool down on the Mario for a bit, so Phoenix Wright 2, I think, is what I'm settling on for the Thursday stream. So yeah, come to that Thursday stream. I guess speaking of visual novels with only one real story path, that's Phoenix Wright, baby. Look, Phoenix Wright, you can either win the case or you can get a game over. That's it. But I don't love Phoenix Wright any less for it. So yeah, I guess if you were, if you think you're gonna miss having a visual novel stream while Slay the Princess is gone, don't you worry. Phoenix Wright is here to fill in the gap. Alright, so yeah, that's it. That's it for streams anyway. You can also catch the VODs on YouTube. I'm Fefner Masamune on there. But hey, guess what? I also do LPs. Mega Man X4 is on Monday. Wario Land 2 is on Wednesday. And Metroid Zero Mission is on Friday. God, I always want to say Metroid Fusion when I say Metroid. I just like Metroid Fusion, I'm sorry. But, I'm also going to mention that, going into December might actually be like a mini hiatus, just because, like, I've actually just finished editing, the Mega Man X4 LP today. Yeah, I even managed that, after doing leaves. Go me, I'm great. But there's only going to be 2 weeks left in the year once Mega Man X4 finishes, and one of those weeks is Christmas. That's on a Monday, and I don't really want to upload that day, which would mean I'd have one day of the year for X5, and I mean, I guess there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but I figure I'll just give myself a break and save the X5 LP for the start of 2024. 2024, it's gonna be the year where I play a lot of bad Mega Man X games. This was the year of good Mega Man X games, even 2 and 3, which are okay, but not great. But you know what? I think I'm gonna look back fondly on 2 and 3. But yeah, that's gonna finish up Wario Land 2. I don't think I have... X5's okay. But Wario Land 2 is also gonna finish pretty soon. Sorry, I kind of left kayfabe for that one real quick. Let me get back in real quick. All this mysterious footage I've been getting from the Wario Land 2 LP, I'm running out of it. It's almost gone. I think that's also gonna finish slightly earlier than the end of December, so if it does, then shrug. I guess we'll just, we'll just finish out the year and give myself a break. And I do actually know what I'm doing after Wario Land 2. I'm gonna shrug about that one too. It's going to be a mediocre thing that will lead into good things. And Metroid Fusion, I think, is actually going to go just past the end of 2023. Almost said 2024. Yeah, that's gonna be a really long final episode. It's gonna just take the entire year, but yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, it's gonna go into 2024 a little bit. Not by much, because Zero Mission... Did I say Fusion at one point during that? I probably said Fusion at some point during that. Anyway, Zero Mission is a very short LP, so we're actually a pretty good ways through the game already. But it is gonna go a little past December. So, just an update on that situation. And of course, if you want to support me, you can do so through Patreon or Ko-fi. I'm Fefner on both those sites, and you can find links easily enough in the Twitch bio, or the YouTube banner, or underneath the YouTube videos. Alright, well then, that was Slay the Princess. I mean, okay, look, I know that my own taste in storylines is a lot different than everybody else's, so perhaps I am the only person who saw the ending I got today and was like, no, actually, that was pretty good. I appreciate what I got. But, like I said, I mean, if you're not satisfied, I mean, I'm gonna stream more of this eventually. But maybe, once again, I should mention, hey, what if you just played this yourself, actually? You could just play the Slay the Princess. This is out there, it's good. You can just do that yourself, but, yeah, I'm gonna give you a little time to do that. Gonna give me a little time to, breathe between overall playthroughs, and we'll see what becomes of The Long Quiet and the Princess next time. Though, actually, now that I think about it, is every one of those gonna be The Long Quiet? The Long Quiet does actually seem to be kind of, like, specific to the way I played this. So who knows, maybe next time we won't be The Long Quiet, and maybe it'll be something else. Again, we'll have to wait and see. We will just have to remain as we have decided ourselves to be in the meantime, until we can try again. So yeah, that'll be it for Slay the Princess for now. I'm talking in circles, I know. I did, on end the stream. That was a really cool final sequence. I could not see myself at any point not going through that whole thing where it's going backwards through all the princesses that you got through the game. That's just too cool to not do. Anyway, though, yeah. Have a good night, y'all. See you next time.